Teri's wonderful, and she'll do anything for anyone ever, and I've watched her do that in the community and at poetry, and she even won an award last year for her community work. Yeah, and last October, and she does a lot to bring people together, and poetry is a big form of therapy for a lot of people, and it's healing, and yeah, she facilitates that, her and Kat. So it's a very special thing to be part of this, and I'm happy to call both of them such great friends. Okay, I have a few poems tonight. Let's see, this one's about a year old. It sounds like it's about something romantic, but it's not. It's about something completely different. Let's see. It's called Diminutive Morsel. Diminutive Morsel. Oh, when the golden chain of opportunity lay shining in your face, you took that moment, relished in it for an instant, and you chose to walk away. When there were seeds to grow and nurture, and we put the water and the time into play, you slid through the notion like it would pull the string, now unwoven, collect the ashes from the used-to-be embers in this now hollow ashtray. Why delay? There's no point, no investment, your choice. I thought we were building a sculpture out of clay. Like a smack to my cheek, realization reached, this commitment is only one way. And I see harmony can come back to me. Don't rely on bonds built, don't dismay. The only thing that I'll ever need is within me, though I grasp it may sound cliche. I am tired, I'm aged, same damn tale again and again, and still I reside in the fray. Get excited, line up, feel the blessing, past the stumps, then yet another cannon in my path freshly splayed. 'Twas the groundwork ever laid, will my blood, sweat, tears, and strain ever bring elevation? Or is this an endless cycle, cursed to dabble with the unreliable, by clumsy trust filleted? Or can imagination and sheer determination pursued assemble this fallen tower, collect all the stones that now lay scattered into some sort of uplifting stairway? My trend, past defeat, I'll just transcend, propel past this dead end, erase the drawing board and start again. Thank you. Okay, this is a new one, and it's about somebody in this room. There was a very special lady, there's a lot of very special ladies here, but this particular lady and I spent an afternoon together, and the day after I was inspired to write this poem. A poem for Shelley Kay. Bet you didn't expect that. Okay, here we go. A poem for Shelley Kay. Inclusion, high praise, a vision, versatility, a deeply genuine laugh, compliments from the heart for miles and miles to lift you up to tribute your style, a bona fide integral interest, an inspiration to spread light and promote a better place for all those in your presence. Sights set on a vast array of reachable goals, I'm convinced there's nothing you can't do. Accrue allegiances, forge friendships, align allies with ease. Behold, she's a special gal with an unequivocal affinity for impeccable morals and a proclivity to harness productivity and take a creative view on creation and content and getting her art out there where all can embrace its freshness and feel content and see the extent of its ease and effort, exuding with grace the hours of dedication and persistence. The time is spent on multiple avenues to cultivate her craft and pursue passions and surpass desired achievements, a bright light of lovingly charged harmonious fusion. You are a powerful force for good. Therein lies this poem's conclusion. And her band is Maple Fusion. Very inspiring lady. All right, and this one's about somebody with good intentions. If anybody has a friend like this, or somebody who, is good, but sometimes can be a bully or a little condescending at times, especially after a couple drinks. So I wrote this about being bullied or being talked down to. I've got no time to be uninspired. Sit by the fire, listen to you spout. You ask me to prove to you how my cognitive function is on the superior side and how I should resonate clout. You interrupt my explanation and you do your best to sow seeds of doubt. Like your decree holds the final merit. Yes, you can see with a question or two the way my complex neurons fire naturally. What wizardry, befuddling, what was inherent. Like you can bestow your blessing, and that means anything to gauge my IQ. God forbid it is above you, something I've silently conceded to, concluding from the start. But yes, your judgment and acceptance surely does kickstart my heart. Exhausting it is to try to converse with someone so defensive, someone who listens with half an open ear and wants you to prove everything you say with multiple texts of peer-reviewed literature. Pause, breathe, break free, not my choice of a given Tuesday evening. You are a dear, a friend, yet you tire me quickly, consistently, and constantly. I have nothing to prove to you, and I don't give a where you place my intelligence on your tainted scale. I shan't be subject to your scrutiny, and I shall never tuck tail and bow to your misguided and unannounced bullying tendencies. My wisdom is earned, and yours blurred and stagnant in its lingering state of juvenile propensity. Indeed, it offends me when your blanketed terms try to denote my words in such a way, with your thought-terminating cliches. All right. It's not good to get on my bad side, because then you get a poem written about you. Thanks.
My husband and I are going to Southeast Asia for a year, so we'll hopefully stay connected online, but yeah, 15-hour time difference should be fun. But anyway, so this poem is called Tiny Versions of Me. Okay, there's a tiny version of myself trapped somewhere deep inside. She's pacing within a white marble sphere, hiding in my mind. There is another sphere behind my throat, and she screams in defiance, trying to let her voice be heard and hating the deafening silence. There is yet another in her sphere, in my lower abdomen tucked away. She sits with her head resting on her knees, and her sobs are all she will say. There is one more that's behind my ribs, and she has had it rough, for this version has lived most of her life believing she was never enough. This one keeps searching for just a crack, something that she can start to pick. And then she'd be able to take this sphere apart, and I know she would do it quick. This one understands the reason that she was placed in this sphere so long ago. It was to protect her from the words said, meant to break her down so low. But somewhere along the journey of life, she forgot herself inside that sphere. And she knows that it's time to break free and let go of all the fear. She stands in the center of her sphere and gets a knowing, defiant look on her face. She knows what she has to do, and it won't be done with a sweet kind of grace. So she pulls a hammer from the ether, and she swings it hard at her spherical cage. And she swings it again and again, letting out the years of her pent-up rage. She screams in defiance and in her rage to destroy what is no longer required. She doesn't care that her muscles are weak and her body is aching and tired. She swings and she smashes into the wall, and it starts to fracture and crumble at her feet. And pieces break from the wall, and she just swings and swings on repeat. She swings and screams while her hands bleed and her muscles tremble and shake. And then she stops swinging long enough to see the cracks that her efforts did create. She puts the hammer down beside her and walks closer to the marble surface. She sees a spot where her fingers will fit, and she starts removing small pieces with purpose. All of a sudden, she sees a light, bright and golden, that shines through into this space. With awe and wonder, she steps into the light and lets it illuminate the smile on her face. She feels for the first time in her life unconditional self-love and divine acceptance. She also knows that with the crack she made, it's the beginning of the end of her sentence. She knows that she needs to accept herself, all her flaws and beauty too. She knows that because of society's expectations, she became what they wanted her to. But her own authenticity is what makes her shine, and that light should never be muted. Her desires and dreams, her truths and her fears are never things to be refuted. She needs to find her power inside, not just the strength to smash marble to bits, but the strength to stand with confidence and will to withstand all of life's hits. The version of me that is screaming, wanting someone to hear what she has to say. I can feel that she's almost ready to break free, and soon it will be her day. I know that she is powerful and that her words hold a weight that she has yet to believe. But when she believes in herself and the power of her voice, there will be nothing that she can't achieve. I am patiently waiting for her to see that she is so close to that moment of knowing. She is gaining momentum and power inside, and her voice is steadily growing. Her screams are not what will break the cage, but well-timed words and profound meanings, woven with power to rally and incite, and created from truth and extraordinary feeling. She just needs to realize that the power of her voice can also be used to ask for assistance, and that asking for help when it's needed is a sign of strength and persistence. The tiny version of me that is pacing back and forth inside her sphere of white is constantly thinking of different ways to break out of the oppressive blackness of night. She paces within her own mind too, and thinks that there must be a way she just can't see. But what she doesn't understand is that it's not thinking that will be what sets her free. She needs to understand that she needs to act, and she needs to feel, and she needs to look, that she won't find the answers to the problems she faces within the pages of a book. She needs to stop pacing, and she needs to start doing to find a way to break her chains. For the chains are a certain way of thinking, rigid, and where stagnation always reigns. She will only figure out how to let go of the chains that have kept her locked away when she can step out of her preferred way of thinking and find herself a better way. The tiny version of me that is drowning in her own tears is giving herself a headache. But crying and wasting time in her tears is not how she will cause the sphere to break. She needs to pull herself together, although crying can release some fears. She has been doing nothing but crying for years and years and years. This tiny version has a strength inside that she doesn't know about yet, but she cries and sobs and feels defeated because it's easier to just be upset. When she can find her internal strength and realizes that she's not alone, she will see that her sphere is made of paper and that she can just step through it and go home. No one can do it for her, but I will be there when she's ready to leave. And I know it will not be long from now because in her I fully believe. So work very hard, tiny versions of me, for we need to be integrated and whole. And while I know we have come so far, there is still so much further to go. But with one small crack in a marble sphere, the brightest of light will shine through, illuminating the dark and celebrating all that you have allowed yourself to do. Thank you.
I wrote this poem 15 years ago when my husband passed away quite suddenly. And for the first little while, I was in a lot of shock and I felt very numb. I couldn't feel anything. And it was this really weird thing happening where every night for the first few weeks, it felt like he was going to open the front door and walk in at any moment. Alas, that day didn't come, and I started to accept that, yes, he truly was gone for real. In the middle of one of those nights, I woke up at 4 a.m. with a sudden urge to write, and these are the words that poured out of my brain in 5 minutes. The name of my poem is Quiet Acceptance. God took you home and left me all alone. What a price to pay to see you on your way. Quietly accepted with fright. I won't put up a fight, but anger brews within, questions the life I'm in. Dialysis upon the horizon. I'm questioning my future, wishing you were here to comfort me and nurture. When will I awake from all this torture, numb within, holding it all in? Why can't I feel until grief bursts reveal? Myself I must face. I feel like such a disgrace. Who will love me now? To whom must I bow? God, will you please save me from this endless insanity? Alone I must sit and slowly gain wit. My teeth clench with grit. Yet death is accepted, quietly, but with sadness. Thank you.
So I find myself on a new journey, probably just starting to discover this new part of me. So this poem, I have two. This one was written September 14th, called Bubbles of Grace. I am in the flow, and time, it matters not. Excuse me, distractions, there are none. And flowing though, I am a necessary thing. Something reaches way down below. Deep, 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 dark in my soul. Alone, a little bubble. Now more on helium. I feel them rising and larger, growing larger from way, way deep below. They're rising from my soul. These bubbles are from grace. I need not visit there, no, there I need not go. The bubbles rise on up. The elevator stops. These bubbles, they do pop. Another deep heat hurt healed. Thank God they are from grace. That's it. Thank you. And this one was written on Saturday, called Among the Cosmos. I awake in ecstasy with the recollection of the day before when I went to play in the cosmos. My beautiful hollyhocks towering o'er, finally. My nose but inches from the cosmos' joyful centers, I gazed with utter glory. Mr. Bumble, fat and furry, chose center after center to do his magic dance. Quickly round and round he strutted, not knowing I was there. He wouldn't even care. Then more. These other buzzy things, they fly and land without a care. Doesn't matter, I was there. To them, maybe, but to me, a realization of just how lucky to embark and partake in this whole other place. And no one is the wiser, just my God and me. I cast my gloves aside. What was I afraid of? A little dirt upon my fingers? My flip-flops slid off also, my toes to feel the grass. How glorious, amazing. I am in this other world. A visitor for sure. No space or cruise ship needed, just right outside my door. My little garden space, such joy it brings me now when I am truly present. And time, it just stands still as I am offered up this miracle by setting the intention to put aside the shoulds, to bypass fear of reprimand from guilt of wasting time, to push past fear and do it anyway. A miracle unfolded right here among the cosmos. Thanks. Thank you.
My first poem was inspired by a movie. Did you guys see the movie Wind Talkers? Okay, so it was a movie where the US military used the Navajo for the radio communication in Europe because nobody in Europe understood the Navajo language. And there were a lot of indigenous characters in the movie. And my poem is written from the perspective of the characters of the movie. It's called Soul Sight. Don't look at the color of my skin. Don't look at where I'm from or the clothes I wear. Look at me with your eyes closed, and you will see much more than your eyes can ever see. Don't listen to me with your ears. You may not understand my language. Listen to me with your soul. Then our hearts will beat to the same rhythm, regardless of race, color, religion, or beliefs, because we are human. We are only human. We are all human. And we can live in harmony. We can respect each other. You can learn from me. I can learn from you, and you can learn from me. We don't have to be threatened by our differences. That is what makes life colorful. You can hear my accent as charming. It does not have to be heard as something negative. My customs are just as sacred and beautiful as yours. If you don't understand them, I am willing to share. I am willing to show you how wonderful life can be when we look at each other as brothers and sisters, as opposed to strangers and enemies. I chose the next poem because of the roaring woman in the room. Be a fearless woman. The fearless women are confident that no matter what happens, they can cope with it. They know when to speak and when to remain silent, and they are not afraid to speak their truth. The fearless women have faced enough to give them strength to endure the storms, and the storms have polished them enough to shine. The fearless women hold each other up with endless love and genuine praise. They know how important their connections are to the women, the men, the children, the old, and the frail. They know that in order to survive, we need to respect each other, the plants, the animals, the earth, and all our resources. The fearless women stand tall and whisper, "Here I am. Love me or leave me." Be a fearless woman.
And now, this is my autumn invitation. It's the day after the equinox, where my part of the world is increasingly leaning away from the sun. The nights already noticeably longer, the leaves churning, and the breeze a little cooler. Pretty soon, these stunningly azure skies will be cloud-colored and cloud-covered. Amber and yellow leaves will be swept away, and the bare branches will make mosaic patterns against the dove-gray skies. Moving into this murky, cold grayness, though, has me fearing an onset of the black dogs of depression, the gloomy nothingness, the ennui, the despair that has visited me before, the epitome of drab days, a bloodless life, and gray, just gray. 12 years ago, feeling that envelope of melancholy pulling me into itself, my instincts yelled, "Color!" And for the first time in my life, I painted the winter in Prussian blue, fuchsia, turquoise, dioxazine purple, and deep gold. But this time, this year, I feel a call to silence, to surrender, to emptiness, to the white-gray desert of a prairie winter. Can I surrender to this unknown as gracefully as the trees let go of their leaves each fall? Can I move within to a deep rest, a deep reset, with few, if any, signposts, where gray twilight swallows up color, light, the riot of words and activities into plain gray porridge? Yet gray porridge is really also nourishing creamy oatmeal with maple syrup, sunflower seeds, and walnuts. And rest is luxurious, bringing sweet silence and images never seen before. Can I be laid bare to the bone? Can I pause, dream? Will I look between the worlds to see what is next? Will I see what I will see? I say, yes. Okay. And then you might have heard me say a few thousand times, another world is possible. And I finally decided to write a little bit on that. We know that the world has a lot of problems right now. So this is what I wanted to say. Another world is possible, though it's really hard to see in your news feed. We're in hard times. The disappearances and the intimidation are real. And we must see reality as it is, the truths that frighten us. Reality doesn't stay static, though. And facing reality also means facing the possibilities that tomorrow might bring. Another world is possible, and we need you, you poets and artists, to imagine that world. Who benefits when we're all terrified, hiding in our homes, silent except in the echo chambers of Facebook friends, TikTok content, and Instagram reels? Power mongers and mega billionaires benefit, that's who. The status quo feeds off of despair and fear and neutralizes our anger into more contention, more division, more fear, and more war. But another world is possible, friends. I can see it. Artists, show us your visions of alternative futures. Poets, tell us the stories to spark my heart hope. They say we shouldn't waste time on art when genocide is happening. But if you can't actively stop the hate and the killing right now, show us the possibility of another way, another world, while you still have your pens and paints. Give us the visions to work for. Another world is possible. Poets and artists, we need you to show us that another world is possible. Good night.
It's kind of funny. I work with yarn, and you could say I tell yarns because I'm also an author. And recently, technically, I'm also a politician now. I am running for the first time as a public school board trustee.
Yeah!
So Michelle Brown, Magpie. So look for me on your ballots and look for me on the city election website. That's actually where I was earlier, and I'm really sad I missed those political poems. Tonight I have a poem about grief, and I have one about politics, and I have one that's kind of in between, so accidentally on theme. The first one, unfortunately, on Sunday, we lost one of our cats. He had to be put down, and it was very quick, but it was really sad, and so this is about that. Love is Slower Than Light is the name. I miss when sadness was in my rearview mirror, or a distant shape on the horizon. Are we ever prepared for grief? Well, sometimes. This time I wasn't. It knocked my feet out from beneath me and the air from my lungs. It keeps doing that over and over. Grief comes in waves, like the tide. The shape of absence is a hole in my personal universe. They theorize that dark matter might not be real after all. But what lies between the distant lights? The ocean of dark keeps sending in tides. Last time this happened, I had some warning. Last time, I was less brave. I lost things to the waves because the happiness hurt like sunlight after you open eyes forced shut for too long. There's still light. I'm so scared that the warmth of your memories will go cold, like your body slowly went cold in my arms. But at least you were in my arms. At least I'm still breathing. And I'll try to remember how much you hated it when I got sad and stopped moving. The heat death of the universe is a theoretical inevitability, but I will not give in. I just have to keep my head above water and orient myself by the stars. This second one is called Prairie Glass. Lately, I've been going around this area by the train crossover and picking up bits of glass. I keep special gloves in my purse just for glass. I pick up stray fragments from gutters. I scrape bits of gray and iridescent shards from gravel and dirt. Tiny chips of cobalt blue surprise me among the beer bottle browns and greens. I keep hoping that they'll save someone from a cut foot or a punctured tire. Sometimes I worry this project is a futile self-indulgence. There is so much broken glass in the world, and I miss it pretty often. But all the same, I take my glass jar and load up my tumbler again, using a motor and sand and water to mimic the actions of other oceans. These plains used to be an immense seafloor, and the bones and stones still remember. And I feel like no more than a chipped, broken thing tossed in the tides over and over. But I have to remind myself that time and erosion can turn garbage into jewels. Yeah. Now, the last one is where we get political. I think Teri said no bad words, so I'm going to be a very good girl and change a couple of words in the poem. Okay.
If you only have a few, we can bleep them out.
Oh, yeah, there's only...
Bleep everything.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's just in the title in the very last line. Okay, so... Yeah. So the title of this poem is Charlie Kirk. They held a rally for the fascist who died. There were pyrotechnics at his funeral. He said people like me should be dealt with like they did in the 50s and 60s. And I'm still being scolded for not mourning their small-featured martyr. Apparently, a calm white man with a baritone deserves canonization for being killed by the same words he used as weapons. But when people demand grace and patience without showing any, then say, you deserve no quarter in the same breath. That's just abuse in a cheap red ball cap. The tolerant have left. And if we're using words as weapons, then catch the sharp end of my self-defense. I will not be quiet. I will not perform sadness. For a monster, a scam artist, or a grifter, I will not gracefully excuse the fact that my member of parliament, Rachel Harder, called for a standing ovation for a man who said he'd make his daughter bear a child of rape to term. Because forcing people who give birth to give birth matters more than our pain or our choices. I will not sit down and bite my tongue for the potential of a career in politics, because pinching our noses and making nice is how we got here. And if this poem makes you uncomfortable, then maybe look in the mirror and ask the queers and the immigrants and the cripples and the euphemistically called marginalized people why we are scared. If this poem makes you uncomfortable and you want to tell me to shut up or be kinder, then look me in the eye and tell me why I should care about your feelings more than my own or those of my communities. We will not be cowed by your cowardice or fumbling snatches for power. We said this pussy grabs back and now it's got teeth. If this poem makes you uncomfortable, you do not have the right to tell me to be nicer, and you can't make me.
Thank you very much, love. I have 3 poems to read. And this is going to be, unfortunately, my last time reading here for a while, because I am moving. Sorry, Nana, you're just finding that out. So, last time I was here, I read a poem about my boyfriend, and then him and I kind of broke up, so I wrote another one. This one, we broke up before I moved back to Lethbridge, and I read this the night before I left, and I read it to him, and he cried. Yeah! Thank you. It's called The Hardest Goodbye. I never thought that I would be saying goodbye to you so soon. I'm sorry that my smile didn't cheer you up. I'm sorry that my voice didn't bring you peace. I'm sorry my heart didn't make you happy. I hope this goodbye isn't for life because you promised that one day I could be your wife. You might forget my smile or maybe my big brown eyes. Maybe you'll forget my laugh or how I eat my fries. All I ask is that you don't forget how my heartbeat sounds. And don't forget my weird little quirks, like the way I tie my shoes or how I use my brain, or how everything to me is easy to lose. But please, I beg, don't forget the way we danced in the rain. This will be the hardest goodbye. Even though we'll still be friends, how do I call the first to have me, the first to love me, the first to want me, just a friend? I won't delete the pictures and I won't break your gifts. The hug goodbye and the final kiss will bring me to tears. My body will stay, but my heart leaves with you. You tell me about all the things you stole, but you forgot to tell me that you were a thief to my heart. You stole my heart and I don't want it back, because as long as you have it, I hold hope that one day you'll come back. Maybe over time your feelings for me will fade, but I know for sure that my feelings for you will stay the same. Please, I beg, do good in school. I know it's hard, but trust me, it'll be worth it when you're in a cap and gown walking across that stage. When you miss me, you know what to do. Just look up at the sky, look for the brightest star, and think of me. I'll do that every night and remember how we looked for the Big Dipper every time we looked at the sky. I'll remember your smile, and I'll remember your big brown eyes. I'll remember how your heartbeat sounds, and there's no way I'll ever forget how you scarf down your fries. I'll remember how you tie your shoes. I'll remember dancing in the rain and when you dipped me in the street. And I know I'll remember your pain. I hope you get better and we can hold each other again. Please work on yourself. It's hard work, but I want you to be happy. This is a tough time because I know this will be the hardest goodbye in the end. Yeah, he was a big part of my life, by the way. This next one is called Addiction. I'm an addict, but not to a pill. I refuse to allow myself to fall under the spell of a little capsule. I'm an addict, but not to weed. I won't allow myself to go back to 9th grade, skipping class to get high with my friends because that feeling felt better than dealing with my issues. I'm an addict to love. I love too much and I get hurt. I love my friends to suffocation. I love my mom to the point of her, okay, bye. I love my sister to the point of, Kay, get out of my room. I know my family loves me too, more than I think. I got that curse from my father's side. He didn't love, so I craved it. He pushed me away, but he knew that I would always come back, and I did. Because I'm an addict to love. An ounce of it and I'm hooked. My brothers are the same. Any amount of love and they get hooked, and when that love is gone, it's like the end of the world. But it's not their fault. It's because they weren't shown love, so they crave it. It's an itch we can't quite scratch. I'm slowly learning how to get over love because I drained so much of myself for it. I'm learning to understand not everyone cares the same. I still miss that boy that threw a chair across the classroom because he protected me when I needed. He was a painful boy, but I craved the protection and the attention he gave me, and he was like my lifeline. When he was gone, it broke me into pieces. It's funny, though, we were just so young, and I fell for that boy, who probably doesn't even know my last name or my favorite color. I needed love from somewhere, though I wasn't getting it from the ones I needed. They loved me, and I know that, but I needed to see it rather than my addiction to love being thrown in my face. It's not my fault. It's my addiction. And I kind of saved the best one for last, but I have to find it because it's like way down in my notes. Okay. This one's called Blocked. It starts off with a little bit of a diss on me. I heard once that when a guy likes you, he'll act like he hates you. Well, I've been blocked by so many guys. I must be the most popular girl ever. They talk to me for 2 days and realize they like me so much, they block me. I block back. I spoke 5 words and he's gone. I sent 1 text, he's gone. I don't believe they will pretend they hate you. If he really liked me, he would have stayed for me to tell me, or stayed for me so I could tell him I like his smile. He would have stayed for my happy moments, but I'm so popular, he blocked me immediately. I'm so cool, my friends block me with no explanation. I'm so cool, my sister leaves me undelivered for days. I'm so cool, my brother sees my text and just doesn't reply. My best friend's ex hits on me, blocked. My old bully discovers I'm pretty and makes a disgusting comment, so bad I want to vomit, blocked. A boy points and laughs at my disabled sister, blocked. I'll block with no hesitation, but I don't block for no reason. I will if you do something I don't like. I'm easy to switch my feelings because that's what I get. 1 minute, I'm picking out my outfit for my first date. The next minute, I'm sitting in my grandpa's car in tears because my family fell apart and I was blocked. They don't just block my Snap, they block my Facebook, my Instagram, my number. I'm used to it though, that's what comes with being me. I'm meant to be blocked. I'm meant to be deleted from someone's phone because they think one bad picture is enough to block me when all I get is a black screen or a picture of something I don't want to see. I don't mind being blocked that much. It saves me from one more weirdo. I'm just so cool that I get blocked. Thank you.
Hi everyone. I've been here many times, but this is actually the first time I've actually read a poem. And I don't know if you're like any other writer that has so many notebooks. And it's kind of funny, this poem has been lost so many times and rewritten. And I'm not sure which edition this is or how many times I've written this poem because I've lost it. But my students, I wrote this poem years ago and have rewritten it like 5 times. My students were singing the sound of silence, and so this poem is called The Sound of Silence. The sound of silence can be peaceful or dreadful depending on the moment. There are quiet moments, the sound of bacon and eggs sizzling in the pan, coffee brewing, as you smile glancing up from your book you were reading. The sound of pencils as we draw together. The sound of leaves crunching and blowing in the wind as a symphony of life envelops us as we go. And then there are the moments where things have gone wrong. My thoughts take me far away from the moment to the future and the past. My life becomes a horror story, an action sitcom in which the best I feel that I can hope for is a blooper reel. Sometimes my thoughts are a storm, a tornado of ideas caught in the wind that I can barely hold on to as the next one hits me and carries me away. Sometimes my thoughts are a scream without sound. They show everything I want to say, but cannot find the words to say, so we sit in silence. Thank you.
All right, so this one is actually a work in progress, literally, as I'm going to finish it on stage right now. And it's called Broken Window Theory. They say that one broken window is all it takes to cause urban decline. Then I must be a criminal because I've broken 5. Are you freaking kidding me, sociology? Are you even listening to your own inanity? Where were you when the wind blows? Where are you when the rain falls? Are you there when the lightning strikes? I don't think so. All I have are sticks and stones, and they are all around me. That's a nice armchair you got there. It'd be a shame to get it dirty with the skid marks of your apathy. Well, is that what that is? Maybe it's your armchair that's in decline. When you look at the writing on the wall, I can't see nothing more than graffiti, and can't someone paint that? Maybe that was never accepted in any journal that you would give any credence, but that there is a treatise to your imminent demise. Do you know who I am? I'm exactly who I want to be. Nobody. There's strength in numbers, and we are not just large, but we are uncountably many. And Sorry, I was trying to think of what to say next. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. You say the pen is mightier than the sword, but have you compared that to the stone? Do you know how many stones there are compared to possible swords? Do you know how many stones there are compared to possible words? I think I can rest my case there.
That was a long, amazing night of poetry. Too bad that so many people left early. I'm glad you guys are still here, so please let me read you my thank you notes. Many thanks to Kara. Are you here, girl? There she is. And the rest of the staff at the Owl for their awesome food, venue, and excellent service. Thank you to Ryan from Rogers TV for recording, editing our event, for broadcasting it, and posting it on YouTube. Thank you, Bev, who left early, for sponsoring us this month and the last 2 months. Thanks to Kat for being my co-pilot and her help ironing out the kinks and doing a lot of the behind-the-scene work. Thanks to all the poets for participating and our audiences here at the Owl. Thank you to our Rogers audiences for watching our show on community, blah, 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 blah. Let's do this again. Ryan, do not put this on community TV. Yeah. Thank you to our Rogers audiences for watching our program on TV and on YouTube. See you all on Wednesday, October 22nd. And then we have November 26th and December 17th. Our poetry nights are usually on the fourth Wednesday of the month, but in December it's going to be on the 3rd. Thank you everybody for being here. Have a safe ride home. See you next month.